presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ESPN.
You're watching Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week.
Florida and Florida State, two programs well below their standard. But the weight of this rivalry has never lived in records. It lives in legend. Spurrier's swagger, Bowden's command, Tebow refusing to go down, Jameis turning chaos into brilliance. Stadiums shaking like they might lift off the ground in nights that felt like dreams, when every snap seemed to echo the whole stadium. Even in a season that tests every ounce of belief, Gators and Noles is always special. We welcome you to college football on ESPN, presented by Claude, all part of Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week. From the Swamp in Gainesville, Florida, the home team Gators would love nothing more than to end their season with a win and to keep Florida State from a bowl game. Hi, everybody. Alongside Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. Regardless of record, this in-state rivalry, Rocky, always delivers.
Jay, over 50% of the players on each of these two rosters is from the state of Florida. That means they've grown up playing with and against each other in youth football, 7-on-7, high school football, so there's great familiarity. And the last thing you want is to let a friend or former teammate get the best of you. That's what a rivalry game is all about.
And when you look at these two rosters, position by position, some of the most talented players in all of college football when you look at the offensive side of the ball.
Wow, some fantastic players. And for the Noles, Deuce Robinson, the leader in the ACC in receiving yards. He has 5 games of over 120 receiving yards. He's the deep threat and big ball threat down the field. And then for the Gators, their running back, Jaden Ball, 96 yards away from 1,000. He catches the ball out of the backfield. He'll run it. They got to get the ball to Jaden Ball a lot tonight.
They say in a rivalry game, you should throw the records out. Well, these two programs, they're happy to do that this season, but it should be a fun one in Gainesville. We got the Chop taking on the Chop next.
We bleed garnet and gold. We need to be bowl eligible, and if we win this game, we are. And obviously, just to beat the Gators, obviously, rivalry old as time.
Florida Gators got it all day, all night, ready for the game. Let's go Gators! Chop, 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 chop.
Oh, you can feel it here in Gainesville. The fans, Florida State, regardless of record, a rivalry that always delivers. The atmosphere is awesome in Gainesville, and the players, they're feeling it too, Marilyn Payne.
Jay, Gators players told me that this rivalry re-energizes this week. Center Jake Slaughter, a fifth-year senior who initially committed to FSU, told me that younger players especially had an elevated energy and focus this week in the building here in Gainesville. It was palpable on the field as Florida prepared for this one tonight. As for those Seminoles, with Mike Norvell having been recommitted to publicly by FSU, quarterback Thomas Castellanos told me he is exactly who we need in this position. The Seminoles felt relieved. They said we got to exhale into clarity. Now we're ready to go out and be bowl eligible.
Marilyn, that was the big news earlier this week. Florida State leadership putting out a statement saying Mike Norvell will be back as the head coach next season, despite 2 straight years now with the results well below the Seminoles championship standard. So you know who's going to be on the sideline next year for Florida State. Still searching for the next head football coach of the Florida Gators. If you were on the Lane train of Gator Nation, that is derailed. Our Pete Thamel saying the strong favorite who's emerged is Tulane head coach John Sumrall, but that discussion can be shelved until tomorrow. Everybody's focused on the Noles and the Gators here in Gainesville. Florida State won the toss, decided to take the ball, and we are underway. And we get our first look at Tommy Castellanos of this Florida State offense. Rocky, the Seminoles, this offense, they've moved the ball all season long, top 10 in the country in yards, but they don't have the points or the wins to show for it.
Jay, they've topped 400 yards of offense 8 times this season, but you mentioned they need more points, but Tommy Castellanos has done a great job. A real deal threat with his legs, but also a guy that's not afraid to throw the ball downfield. #1 in the nation in yards per completion with over 15.
On 1st and 10, handoff right up the middle, blown up in the backfield. Jaden Woods, the phenomenal freshman, and it's a loss of 2.
Jaden Woods, their top edge guy, and no one blocks him. I would block number 15 if I'm Florida State. Can't let that guy run free in a negative yards play to start this game off.
Castellanos fires quickly, finds Deuce Robinson, one of the best wide receivers in the country. He's gobbled up, and this will be 3rd and long after a gain of 4.
Jay, well, there he is right out of the gate, Deuce Robinson. I mean, he is an absolute cheat code. 6'6", 223. There's a great matchup we'll watch tonight, and there's Alonzo Allen on the coverage. They're going to throw the ball to 0 a ton tonight.
Seminoles offense trying to keep the opening drive alive here at the Swamp. 3rd and 8.
Florida's got to watch Castellanos making plays with his legs.
Florida sends pressure. Castellanos in trouble. Miles Graham, the sophomore, swallows him up. What a statement by the Gators defense.
Miles Graham knows that Tommy Castellanos is a danger to take off, so just speed right there off the edge. Nobody blocks Miles Graham, one of the best linebackers in the SEC. He's had an absolute stellar year, a key component of their future. The Gators D starting this game off right.
Miles Graham, the son of Gator great Ernest Graham, he grew up knowing the importance of this rivalry. Gators and Noles, regardless of record, both of these teams playing with a ton of juice to start. VB3 hit as he caught that punt, did not call for the fair catch, held on, and this will be good starting field position for the Florida offense after forcing the 3 and out. And the Gators will start DJ Lagway. This was a game-time decision. He's been pretty banged up all season in what has been an uphill battle for the sophomore quarterback. But he is ready to go for the regular season finale.
And Jay, I think you can trace most of Florida's problems this season back to the fact that DJ Lagway was not healthy all offseason. No reps. How do you get good at anything? You do it over and over and over. He missed those valuable reps during the offseason, but he's got a lot this season. Some good, some bad. In his final game, he wants to put on a show.
Did not practice until Wednesday this week. But gets the first snap. Gives it right to Jaden Baugh. Jaden Baugh, one of the best running backs in all of college football. Hoping to close in on 1,000 yards today. He's 20 yards closer after that run.
This guy is built like a tank. It's a zone run, and they just let Jaden Baugh find the daylight. He's got the jets to hit it. Starting this game off right.
He'd be the first 1,000-yard rusher in 10 years. If he can hit the 1,000 mark in the next 16 carries, he'll be the first Gator underclassman to do it since Emmitt Smith. That is rarefied air out of the Florida backfield. Already in Seminoles territory. They give it right back to Baugh. This time bouncing a couple of tackles. Upended just shy of the 30.
And that's the thing about Jaden Ball. He's powerful, he's fast, but he's also elusive. He breaks a ton of tackles. He's got elite change of direction. And especially, again, for a guy his size, over 230 pounds.
It's not just line drive speed with him.
Yeah, it's east-west, it's north-south. And you got to do whatever you got to do to bring him to the ground.
And whoever ends up being the next football coach for Florida, I think priority one is to keep Baugh in the backfield. Lagway in trouble. Throws off his back foot well over the head of Hayden Hanson, the tight end. And after the gain of 20 to ignite this Gators opening drive, now Billy Gonzalez's team finds themselves in all too familiar territory, 3rd and long.
And Jay, the key for Florida tonight is they must block the interior defensive line of FSU. Darrell Jackson, Daniel Lyons, two of the best in the business on the inside. They got to protect that inside for DJ Lagway.
Florida been bad on 3rd down this season. Needs 7 to keep this drive alive, and they get it. J. Michael Sturdivant inside the 15. A big 3rd down conversion, and the Gators are in business.
Jay, I think in a game like this, momentum and having success early is so important. They get the ball to their speedy playmaker, Sturdivant on the outside, and he does the rest. Nice block by Caden Jones, right tackle on that play as well.
Baugh right up the middle. Gain of 4. Everything he does is forward progress, falling forward. So impressed by this young man.
There's so many superlatives. That's why you just absolutely love watching him. He doesn't take hardly any negative yardage plays. You watch him on tape. He's always falling forward, always finding a little crease.
And we were saying if Florida hadn't trailed in the second half in so many of these games this season, he'd be well over 1,000 yards. He'd be closer to 1,200. This time, Baugh lining up for a direct snap. Why not? Trying to follow that offensive line, pushing the pile to the 5-yard line.
And we talked about an interior defensive front. Look at those big bodies for the Noles, but the Gators getting some nice push here early. Darrell Jackson, big number 6, in on that tackle, 6'5", 337 pounds, maybe one of the best D linemen in the country.
The strength of this Florida State defense is that interior line, headlined by Jackson. You know, Baugh's had his most success when he's bounced outside the numbers. Let's see what Florida does here on a critical 3rd and 3.
Florida State, same thing. You got to watch DJ Lagway extend the play, getting the ball outside, two-way go, runner pass.
Lagway looking left, throwing left to the end zone. It's caught! Touchdown, Florida! VB3. The freshman, Vernell Brown III, his first touchdown in a Gator uniform, and it comes in this rivalry game to open the scoring.
There's not many receivers in the SEC that are as good at creating separation as VB3 is. He just has that knack for knowing how to get away from the defensive guys and find space and create a look for his quarterback.
The officials are running over to take a look at the VB3 catch to make sure that he secured that ball. Does he have that elbow under the ball as he hits the end zone?
It might have been a bounce off that ground and his hand not underneath the ball, securing that catch. Let's get another look here. He's still trying to haul that thing in.
Is it moving and does it hit the ground is the question.
See, I think right there the nose of that ball bounces off.
Ruling on the field was a touchdown, so you need indisputable evidence that that ball did touch the ground.
Yeah, I think that's the best shot right there. To me, I see a ball that's not fully possessed, bouncing off the ground before he gains control of it.
Let's get the call.
After further review, the pass is incomplete. It's 4th down.
You got to maintain possession through the ground. That's what the officials were looking at and determined he did not do that as the nose of that ball bounces off before he possesses it.
So the wait will continue for the highly touted
Florida
freshman,
76 is
Vernell
now 82.
Brown III, his
76
first
is
touchdown
82.
in a Gator uniform. And 4th down, Florida decides to go for the chip shot field goal rather than leave their offense to go for it on 4th down from the 5-yard line. So Trey Smack to open the scoring from 23 yards, puts it right through. So Florida thought they had a touchdown to open the scoring. They'll settle for a field goal. Gators up 3-0 early. An early 3-0 lead against FSU. The Swamp, awesome atmosphere as ever. The Taco Bell Live Más student section. Only one student section can claim the title of the Live Más student section of the year. Who will take home the trophy this season? Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. The Gators thought they had a touchdown. The replay booth phoned down, decided to take a look at the Vernell Brown III catch, ruled it incomplete. Gators settled for a field goal. Seminoles offensively on their opening drive went 3 and out, lost 8 yards. You know, offensive coordinator Gus Malzahn, it was funny talking with him this week. He goes, we don't have the points to show for it, certainly don't have the wins to show for it, but the team has moved the ball pretty well in our games this season.
Yeah, Gus Malzahn deserves a lot of credit for totally revamping this offense. But where they've really struggled, Jay, is the red zone. And I think a lot of that comes down to they have no bell cow running back. There's 4 or 5 guys we'll probably see in the backfield for them versus that one horse you want to ride down in that red zone. We'll see what happens tonight.
Malzahn's been coaching offense his entire career for decades. He goes, I've never had a team where there's not a bell cow. You can just put it into his stomach and ride. Castellanos taking a deep shot on first down. Robinson has it. Deuce Robinson. Spectacular catch. Gain of 44.
That's what you love as a quarterback, about a 6'6" wide receiver who has just great catch radius. The ball he's always open when it's way up high in the sky, making the play over Javari Flowers.
Pitch left. Gavin Sawchuk out of the backfield, bounced out of bounds, gain of 2.
And that was good coverage in that last play by Flowers. It's just, again, Flowers is 5'10", and Deuce Robinson is 6'6".
Now, Robinson knows what this rivalry is all about. He grew up in a house divided. His mom is a Gator. His dad is a Knoll. They should be looking at number 0 early and often. Bottom of your screen. Seminoles run it instead. Nakai Danzy, the Tallahassee native, brings up 3rd and medium.
Deuce Robinson is going to have some decisions to make after this season, what to do. Does he go in the NFL? I mean, he's a Biletnikoff candidate. And Gus Malzahn knows, look, great players win games. We're going to get the ball to Deuce Robinson tonight. This is a Florida State defense, Jay, that already has a tackle for loss and a sack early in this game. They're going to try to bring it here.
3rd and 3, Castellanos kept it, breaks a tackle, falls forward, and he's 1 yard shy of the sticks. 4th and 1 and a decision to make.
Alonzo Allen, the safety, a great job shooting that gap, can't make the tackle, but slows him down enough for Sharif Denson. Bring Castellanos to the turf, and Jay, this is a rivalry game, brother. They're going for it here.
Mike Norvell and Gus Malzahn leads the offense on the field.
Deuce Robinson right there.
Handoff, Sawchuk. Drilled and dropped. Turnover on downs. The Gators defense delivers. Myles Graham, who else? The Gainesville native, the son of a Gator great.
These linebackers for Florida flying around. Myles Graham, Aaron Childs, the other linebacker in on the play. The Gators come up with a big stop here early.
ESPN College Football is presented by Claude, the AI for problem solvers.
The faces, the legends that define this rivalry, Bobby Bowden, Steve Spurrier. This game was the epicenter of the sport in the 90s.
I mean, that's what I grew up watching, right? When I was a kid, you turn on Florida State, Bobby Bowden, Steve Spurrier. It's amazing.
And that's what happens when you win a lot of those rivalry games in a national championship. They name the field after you. Now, the big question, Rocky, was which Florida shows up today. And the post-Billy Napier firing, they played 4 games. They've lost all of them. But it's 2 different Florida teams. Against Georgia and Ole Miss, they battled, hung tough. Tennessee and Kentucky, they got rolled over. It seems like the Ole Miss-Georgia version has showed up in the Swamp today. Big reason is Baugh. 4 carries, 31 yards on that opening drive. Impressive stuff for Baugh so far.
Running backs coach Jaluk Jabbar told Jaden Baugh, keep your feet moving. Don't be afraid to get a piece of some of these guys. He wants his young running back running tougher.
A gain of 3 to start the drive. They go right back to Baugh. And he's turning his legs just like Maryland was talking about.
That was a pretty tough run right there. Already 6 carries in this game. And Jay, look, I told you last night, right? If I'm Florida, I'm getting Baugh the football 30-plus times a day. Handing him the ball, I'm waiting to see him try to get him the ball out of the backfield. He is a legit threat in the pass game. There's no linebacker out there that wants to cover him in space.
So Florida's defensive front, they've had a couple of big stops on 3rd and short, 4th and short. Just had a turnover on downs. Can the Seminoles get one? Direct snap to Baugh, and they can't. First down, Jaden Baugh.
And I think Florida's offense took it as a personal challenge. You got this Florida State defensive line coming in. That's the strength of their team. They said, you know what, in this rivalry game, we're going to try to take it right to them. They are running between the tackles, picking up a first down right there.
Well, this is what Baugh did at Columbia High School in Atlanta, Georgia. Just the direct snap, let the best athlete on the field go to work. Lagway throwing on first down. It's caught right at the sticks. Aiden Mizell hauled it in, and it's another Florida first down.
Great read, great poise by DJ Lagway there. Finding Aiden Mizell, who's been banged up, Jay, a lot of the season, missed some games, but coming up big here early.
But part of the reason for Florida's struggles this season is they have just had no rhythm and consistency in the passing game, and a lot of that is on DJ Lagway, but he has had a revolving door at wide receiver throughout this season. Back to Baugh. Gang tackled, brought down after a gain of 4.
You mentioned earlier, I mean, one of the things that's gotten him out of the run game with Baugh is they've fallen behind early, and then you got to start throwing the ball more. Get a look at Billy Gonzalez. Been in Florida a long, long time. This place means a lot to him.
He told us challenging season transition is tough, trying to keep these guys together and send them out as winners against their in-state rival here at the Swamp. Baugh this time swallowed up, no room to run. Mandrell Desir, one of those Desir twins.
Yeah, twin brothers here, and Coach Tony White, the defensive coordinator, told us, you know, usually, you know, it takes a while for younger players to come on and bring the effort and bring the intensity. These guys showed up with it, right? They're just built that way. Big Mandrell leads the team in TFLs and sacks.
They do not look like freshmen, and they don't play like it either. Baugh not in the backfield. Lagway is sandwiched by Duke Clark and KD Daniels. They switch hips here. Play clock down to 3. 3rd and 5. Lagway looking to throw. Fires. It's caught. First down, Florida. Into Seminoles territory. Lagway just threaded the needle. Duke Clark, gain of 11.
And I thought he was just a tip away from that. That ball's got to come out of his hand faster. As soon as he sees KD Daniels, boom, that ball's got to come out. He was very lucky that thing didn't get picked off. And And that's what you see out of Lagway sometimes, just a little split-second hesitation. These quarterbacks got to know as soon as that guy's open, boom, that ball's got to come.
Some commotion over on that Florida sideline. Jerry Wilson, the senior cornerback for Florida State, is getting attended to by medical personnel as now is walking across the field. Well, Wilson gets treatment now over on the Florida State sideline. We step aside.
Today, the ticket to the house sweepstakes. And the Gators return to run for a touchdown here in the Swamp.
Iron Bowl, Alabama at Auburn. The Tide with a win. They go to the SEC Championship game. Looking forward to that one here in Gainesville, Florida, putting together another impressive drive, up 3-0 in Seminoles territory. 1st and 10. Lagway, pump and go. Lets it fly on 1st down. It's caught. J. Michael Sturdivant hauled it in. Gain of 34, and it's 1st and goal for the Gators.
Gators get a big play. J. Michael Sturdivant, the UCLA transfer, will pump it. And look, just beautiful ball placement. That's the frustrating thing with DJ Lagway. You see a play like that, perfectly thrown over the receiver's outside shoulder, and sometimes he'll miss a guy. He just needs more consistency from the quarterback position.
Oh, Florida fans have seen flashes of what could have been all season long. Just the inconsistency has showed up too frequently. Lagway pump fakes again, then throws it out the back of the end zone.
And that one right there, I'm not upset. He was looking for Amir Jackson, but he was covering. Didn't try to force that ball. Stayed in. It was not there. Throw it out of the back of the end zone. Live to fight another day. That's a veteran move by a quarterback. So many times I just feel like DJ Lagway feels like he has to play hero ball. I mean, look at him. He's 6'3", he's 250. He's made plays his whole life, but sometimes the play ain't there. Throw it away.
He's got Jaden Baum back on his left hip in the backfield. Right hip now. He's been the biggest bright spot for Florida. Play action. Lagway floats one up, and it falls incomplete. Lagway tried to make it a jump ball between Mizell and the freshman Shamar Arnu. Floated over both their heads.
Play action is there because they've been able to run the ball effectively. That was just great coverage on the outside by Arnu.
Florida fans thinking he might have left a hand there. 11th play of a long Florida drive. They had to settle for a field goal in very similar field position on their first possession. Can they punch it in here?
Two tight ends in the game, Jay. They've been living in this 12 personnel set.
Play action. Lagway slings it for a touchdown. Jay Michael Sturdivant. What an impressive drive for the Gators. They go 76 yards in 11 plays for the touchdown.
Run the ball effectively. As a linebacker, you're thinking, we got to come up on the run, and then you just fit that slant in right by. Look at those linebackers come up on it. Nope, pull the ball. Perfectly thrown ball by DJ Lagway.
But no doubt about it, the Gators have had a turnover on downs on defense, a touchdown and a field goal, 10-0 lead for the home team Gators. Let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. A shootout in the SEC between LSU and Oklahoma. Big-time college football playoff implication.
There's a lot of implications with LSU.
Wow, I was going to say, Florida fans have been thinking a lot about LSU this week. Where was Lane Kiffin going to end up? The three choices heading into the week here in Gainesville, in Baton Rouge, or staying in Oxford. Pete Thamel reporting yesterday that Florida has pulled out of the Lane Kiffin race, the Lane train derailing. John Summerall has emerged as the clear favorite, the Tulane head coach. Everybody waits for the decisions in the head coaching department. Let's remind you, our drive recap brought to you by Target.
Yeah, this drive's set up by a shot play, right? J. Michael Sturdivant down the outside, and perfectly thrown ball on the fade. And then real close to the line of scrimmage there, pulling that ball on the RPO, fitting in the slant behind it. Sturdivant having a heck of a game so far.
Lagway, so good on that drive, 4 of 6, 60 yards and a touchdown. Now can Tommy Castellanos return the favor? It's a Seminoles team that is off to a very slow start. It's a theme for them on the road. Castellanos trying to ignite the drive with his legs. This is a program that has not won a game on the road in 735 days.
They would help their chances by doing more of this. Castellanos been banged up a little bit mid-season. Coach Malzahn told us he's the healthiest he's been in a long time. I expect to see a lot of that, those vertical runs by Castellanos.
Castellanos throws quickly, finds LaWayne McCoy, and it's another Seminoles first down, back-to-back first downs for Castellanos as we check in with Maryland.
Tommy Castellanos said that part of this offensive struggle pattern has come from being nervous on the road, and he kind of joked about it, but he said, we have been rattled when we travel, especially in the red zone, but there's no way the swamp will be louder than the echoes coming off our
does not sound like the home of a 3-8 team, and their defense has played like it in this first quarter. Florida State really struggling on their first two offensive possessions, and how much of that, Rocky, as a former player, is mental? We just haven't done it on the road, and here we are in a road game again.
Yeah, a lot of times it isn't real until you actually physically go out and do it. Now, the first part is admitting you have a problem, right? Admitting that you struggle with noise or communication on the road, and now they got to figure out how to clean some of that up and play well tonight.
And it is hard to fathom that they have not won on the road since they were here in the Swamp, November 2023. Some trickery here potentially. Looked like Squirrel White was looking to throw that ball and decides to just tuck it and run it. He was bounced out of bounds just shy of the first down marker.
And this is a great play by Lagonza Hayward. He is not fooled by the jet sweep. He knows there was a pass option there. He covers this guy. That's his teammates, force him out of bounds.
3rd and 1. Florida State has struggled on short yardage plays tonight. 0 for 2 on 3rd down.
In Florida, you got to be aware of Castellanos keeping this thing, trying to run for that first down vertically.
Fumble. Castellanos picks it up, scurries his way for the first down, and certainly not how Gus Malzahn drew it up, but the Seminoles keep the drive alive.
Either way, the ball is in his hands, which is a good idea. I mean, how quick he picks that ball up off the field, keeping this drive alive for Florida State. They desperately need to make something happen here as they approach this red zone, Jay, where they've had some trouble, some issues this year.
Castellanos can't get the snap off in time. And we head to the second quarter in the Swamp. Florida a 10-0 lead. The Sunshine Showdown. Florida State looking to get bowl eligible, trailing by 10, driving to start the second.
I was on the opposite side because I figured you'd be walking that way. Okay,
For the 2025 season, it's Florida Gator Brandon Spivey. As the nation's top linebacker. During his career at the University of Florida, he logged 260
a shutout here on the drive.
I'll tell you what, the defense is playing fantastic. You know, they came out and had a fast start. We talked about starting fast. They came out and got a couple stops for us immediately, and then offense followed up, got some points on the board immediately. So we just got to keep playing fast out here on the defensive side of the ball.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Interim head coach Billy Gonzalez happy with how his team has played so far. 10-0 lead for the Gators. Right now on defense. Big hole opens up. Couple of broken tackles. Sam Singleton, his first carry of the night, and he takes it into the red zone, a gain of 21.
Great run there. Counter play, they're going to take Micah Pettis right there. They're going to pull him around, and Singleton's going to do a good job of being patient, waiting for the block. Boom, kick it outside. Breaking a couple tackles. That is textbook running back play.
So into the red zone where Florida State has struggled this season. Look at the change that here. Castellanos fires, and it's knocked away, incomplete. Looking for Deuce Robinson, and it was the freshman Javari Flowers in coverage.
I mean, you're a freshman in Javari Flowers, and you're covering one of the best wide receivers in college football, and that's a heck of a job. He wasn't able to get his head around when he played the ball after the play, and now Deuce Robinson a little bit dinged up.
The Robinson off the field for this 2nd and 10. End around. Trying to shake free Jalen Lucas. Gain 5. And Gus Malzahn told us his first priority this week, punch it in when we get to the red zone. 52 trips, only 34 touchdowns. That's a big reason why wins have turned to losses this season for the Seminoles. Can they convert here?
Isaiah Holmes in at running back.
3rd and 5. Castellanos barking orders at his offensive line. Play clock under 8. Castellanos rolls left, slings it. It's caught. First down, Florida State. Makai Danzy post in. Touchdown. The extra effort for a Florida State touchdown. And that's how you know it's a rivalry game, regardless of record. The extra effort there. A scrum right at the goal line results in a Florida State score.
Makai Danzy was wide open, and he's got that track speed. Comes, hits these twists, but watch Richie Leonard, the offensive lineman, come up, just push that pile past the goal line.
And what a moment for Leonard, who played for Florida for 4 seasons, transferred to Florida State. Did not play in this game last year because he was injured. He carried the hammer in his return to Gainesville, and he pushed Danzy in for that score.
Get the ball to Danzy, and then again, that offensive line. I'll take a little bit personal, though. A chatter about Florida's offensive line. Florida State says, how about us pushing their guy across the line? Castellanos loves it here in the Swamp.
response by Mike Norvell in this Seminoles offense. Mekhi Danzy getting shoved over the line by the former Gator, Richie Leonard. Brings them back within 3 after the Gators got out to a terrific start, leading 10-0. We had the feeling, regardless of record, this is a game that always delivers. This one would be close and competitive throughout. A big touchdown there from Florida State. And now a chance for the Gators offense to respond as we take a look at today's player spotlight, brought to you by Cintas. And how about, let's give the 5th-year senior center some love. Jake Slaughter grew up 30 miles south of Gainesville in Spar, Florida. It's a one-traffic light, small town. 5 years in Florida, never missed a practice, never missed a game. Final game of the Swamp, and his coaches and teammates love him.
And Jad talked about in the open the familiarity of these players on these 2 teams. Jake Slaughter was an FSU commit back in the day. The Florida fans are sure glad he chose to play for Florida. What a heck of a career he's had.
Here's Baugh, bouncing outside again, breaks a couple of tackles, earning those extra yards. So tough to bring down. How much fun must it be for Jake Slaughter to have Jaden Baugh running behind him?
Oh yeah, you know, if you make your block and you hold your guy for a split second, 13 will do the rest. And Baugh, he just runs angry. The feet never stop, the arms never stop pumping.
You know, this has been a challenging season, to say the least, for Florida. Transition always tough, but guys like Jaden Baugh and Jake Slaughter, you can still have individuals that have had promising years, and for Slaughter, he'll be off to the NFL. Baugh, they're hoping they can keep in Gainesville under a new head coach as they give it to the sophomore again for a gain of 3.
I said I wanted Baugh to get about 30, 35 touch. He may get 45. He's already had 11 carries for 58 yards. How do you win football games? You give your best players a lot of opportunities.
So Baugh just 38 yards shy of 1,000. He'd be the first Gator to do it in a decade. Kelvin Taylor, the 2015 season, was the last to eclipse 1,000 on the ground. Right back to Baugh, why not? Right up the middle. More positive yards on first down, gain of 5.
And Florida really is, last few weeks, Jed, been living in their 12 personnel, those 2 tight end sets. And there's Hayden Hansen pulling around, getting up the block, up on the linebacker, Stephon Thompson. Those tight ends, the way they can move and still have the size to push guys around. Running backs love it.
Hansen at 6'8", 270. Lagway throws, wide open, and right on cue, there's Hayden Hansen in the passing game, taking it into Florida State territory, gain of 15.
And Florida State loads the box. They're breaking that pressure right up the pipe. Lagway calmly just surveys the field. And the thing with Hayden Hansen, he's hard to miss. He's 6'8", 270 out there. Nice target. You know, I live in Cincinnati, and Bengals playing the Steelers. You got to see Darnell Washington, the big tight end, the former Georgia Bulldog. Hansen's a little bit like that with his size.
Pitch. Here's Baugh. Another burst. There's a flag in the backfield that'll likely bring this run back. Would have been a gain of 9.
Number 8, 15-yard penalty. It's first down.
So a replay of first down, Vernell Brown III called for a face mask.
Chris Gonzalez talking to him, the young freshman.
Well, Gonzalez not only the interim head coach, but still the wide receivers coach. You know, a talented room that, you know, he's frustrated. He can never really get going with the passing game this season, not on a consistent enough basis. 1st and 25 after the penalty. They give it to Baugh. He hits the hole. Right back in Seminoles territory, churning those legs. Just shy of the 40-yard line. Gain of 18.
This is impressive, Jay, because Jaden Ball runs over one of the best safeties in the country. Bang, right there, that's Earl Little. That guy don't mess around. And it's little D-Ball right there, and Ball just lowers the right shoulder and keeps on going. That is why the NFL scouts, even though he's just a sophomore, are so excited about 13.
Not many players this year are going to ram over Earl Little.
No.
Sets up 2nd and 7. Erased a lot of the penalty yardage. Baugh again. Now there's a clear game plan from Florida. We are going to give it to number 13 until they stop him.
And then now the Sammy, just a little slip, right, whoop, right there. Just a little bit of a slip right in that hole. It's Justin Cryer, the linebacker, is trying to come in and tackle him. Get a little rest here.
Baugh has 14 carries on 24 Florida plays, well more than half. The Gators putting together another impressive drive. KD Daniels comes in for Baugh. He gets the give. This time swallowed up. But it is enough for the first down. Needed to, got to, by a matter of inches to move the sticks.
Gets this crowd fired up. They give Jaden Ball a little bit of a break. KD Daniels comes up, picks up the first down. So far, Jay, as I said, I'm very impressed with the way Florida's offensive line is handling this great, big, and talented interior defensive line for Florida State.
Lagway, some trickery, rolls right. And a miscommunication with Hayden Hansen. Lagway had plenty of time, all the space in the world, and just missed Hansen there on a check down.
And as I said earlier, that's one of those plays where that's a layup, right? And you always tell quarterbacks, don't miss the layups. That's an easy one. They're going to give it to you, just take it. Got to hit that.
And one certainly the sophomore would want back.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense number 53. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
It's Bryce Lovett, the right tackle.
Well, even with the penalty, Florida still in Florida State territory. All 3 of their offensive possessions have reached Seminoles territory. The previous 2 resulted in points, a field goal and a touchdown. Can they find points here? 2nd and 10.
Jaden Ball still out of the game. KD Daniels at running back.
Lagway, play action, throws for a Florida first down. Aiden Mizell, great timing there, gain of 13.
There's your textbook RPO. If the linebackers stay back, you hand it off, they come up, boom, slip the slant right in behind it. Accurate throw, plenty of juice on it.
And all 3 Florida drives have gone for 8 plays or more. Knocking on the door of the red zone. 1st and 10. Pitch, Baugh back into the game. Breaks a couple of tackles. Falls forward to the 15-yard line, gain of 6.
You just feel the surge of that offensive line. They run that ball into the boundary. And again, Jaden Ball, he just needs a little bit of a crease, just a little window of daylight, and he hits it. Gave him a little bit of rest, and now he's back in the game here as the Gators are in the red zone.
And Baugh just 4 yards away from 1,000 yards on the season. He'd be the first Gator running back to do it since 2015. Baugh, he's got the first down, and he's got 1,000 yards. And he's the first Florida running back to hit 1,000 yards in under 200 carries as an underclassman since Emmitt Smith.
That's pretty good company. Great job up front by the offensive line, Cameron Waits. And if I'm Billy Gonzalez in Florida, I'm going to see if we can get him to 1,100 by the end of the night. Keep feeding him.
A special season for Baugh.
The ruling on the field is that the ball carrier was tackled at the 10.5-yard line. It's 1st and 10 from that spot.
As the officials take a look at the spot, it's a first down Florida. We step aside. Oh, this is awesome to see. Even in a lost season, you can celebrate your teammates' individual accomplishments, and that's what Florida just did during that timeout. Jaden Baugh, as just a sophomore, over 1,000 yards rushing. First Gator to do it since Kelvin Taylor in 2015. And he's the first Florida underclassman to do it in under 200 carries since Emmitt Smith.
I mean, look at these names. I mean, you're talking about some of the best that have ever played. Fred Taylor, Emmitt Smith. Incredible. As you mentioned, Jay, just a sophomore. Bright future.
Florida, a 10-7 lead in the red zone, 1st and 10. And you have to think they're going to 13. Direct snap here. Baugh. Right up the middle. Well defended by Florida State. Elijah Herring, the linebacker, the first one there.
And the way Jaden Baugh has run the ball tonight, I think a good opportunity for some play action down this area of the field as well.
Lagway does just that. Play action leads to a Florida touchdown. Tony Livingston left all alone. The Seminoles thought it was going to Baugh. And the Gators find the end zone again.
And as a defensive player, you get tired of tackling Jaden. Boy, you got to come over and get him. We got to rally on him, and then boom, there comes the play action. The linebackers suck up into that line to stop ball, and the ball goes to Livingston on the play action pass. That was just a great sequence of plays down in the red zone by Florida.
Florida has had 3 offensive possessions. They have all resulted in points, but that one, by far the most impressive. They go 75 yards in 13 plays, and they eat up 8 minutes of clock. Longest drive in time on the year, and the Gators in control, 17-7. Trying to keep Florida State from a bowl game here in the Swamp. They're up 10.
ESPN College Football, presented by Claude, is brought to you by Fairfield, part of Marriott Bonvoy. Wherever the season takes you, Marriott Bonvoy has a hotel for every kind of fan.
Well, for some that grew up with Spurrier and Bowden in those battles, others, they grew up and they remember Tim Tebow covered in garnet as he beat the Seminoles. So many great memories when these two programs get together. It defines your childhood in many ways, depending at where you fall in the state of Florida. Are you a Gator or a Nole fan? And right now the Gators up 10 as we remind you, Week 13, NFL Sunday Countdown. Get you ready, 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown crew on ESPN and the ESPN app. And then Monday Night Football, the return of Jackson Dart as the Giants are in New England, Monday, 8 Eastern on ESPN. Florida State looking for a response after the Gators just scored a touchdown. They swing it out wide to Jalen Lucas, only gained 1.
And Jay, for Florida State offensively, it's been a lot of east-west, right? Not much north-south, not much getting up the field. And this Florida defense is way too fast for that.
Well, the last drive was a lot better for the Seminoles offense. Their first 2 drives, a 3-and-out and a turnover on downs. Their last drive did result in a touchdown. 2nd and 9. Castellanos using those legs for another Florida State first down. Refusing to go down. Forward progress gives him a gain of 16 past the 40.
He is so dangerous with his legs, and you got to bring some pressure on him. They tried to bring the spy up, Jaden Robinson, the linebacker, to spy him, but he got caught up in the trash, and by the time he looked around, Castellanos was gone. And Deuce Robinson, he was shaken up on the last Seminole drive. He's been back out there for every play of this one. That's a good sign.
Both teams headed to their respective sidelines with an injury to a Florida defensive player. And here we go for a 1st and 10. Big drive for Florida State, heading into halftime, trailing by 10 on the road. Desperate to get their first road win in almost 2 years. Castellanos hit as he released it, found Robinson, and it's another Seminoles first down into Gator territory.
And the thing with Deuce Robinson, he's got so much length and so much speed that you want to play off him. Jabari Flowers, before the snap, backs off of him. So what do? You just sit him down with a little hitch route, and he's so good for a tall guy, Jay, at breaking tackles.
3 catches tonight for 60 yards. Under 4 minutes remaining in this first half. 1st and 10. Castellanos surveys, dials up a deep ball. 1-on-1, jump ball, knocked away, incomplete. Danzy denied. Great coverage by Ben Hanks, the true freshman.
It's been the freshman cornerbacks tonight, Jay, that have made a lot of great plays. That is excellent coverage. You match the speed, you get in phase, you feel the receiver behind you, the eyes go back for the ball. I mean, that is clinic tape of how to play corner from a young freshman.
Well, you said it pre-kick, Rocky. These two teams, more than 50% of their makeup, Florida kids. Hank's one of them, playing in his first ever game against the Noles. Big play here, and it's dropped. Chroma was wide open. Castellanos found him, and a late close resulted in Chroma dropping this football.
And they wheel Chroma up the sideline. He's uncovered. No one runs with him. And the layup, you got to have that play in this rivalry game. A rare blown coverage by Florida, and they can't make them pay.
And that has been the story of the season for the Seminoles, particularly on the road. And now it's a 3rd and 10. Castellanos throws over the middle. It's caught. First down Seminoles. LaWayne McCoy, he's still on his feet. Finally bounced out of bounds inside the 20. A gain of 27 to keep the drive alive for FSU.
And Castellanos throws an absolute laser beam on this dig route. Wham! Right over the middle of the field, over top of the linebacker on the dig route. He's feeling it out there now. That's a throw that you build off of. You take the momentum and try to finish out this drive with a score.
Play action. Castellanos in trouble. Down he goes, and he fumbled the football. Woods pointing that the Gators are at the bottom of the pile. Bryce Thornton shot in. It forced the fumble on Castellanos. Who's at the bottom of this pile? Is it a Nole or a Gator? Wow. Florida football.
They're still going at it on that field, not giving up.
Well, there's nothing like a scrum for a fumble in a rivalry game when it's the Gators and the Noles, and Caleb Banks, big number 88, says he's got it.
And how about Caleb Banks? He's missed most of this year with the foot injury. Didn't think he was going to come back. He comes back last week, and he said, I'm not missing this rivalry game.
This will be reviewed.
Under further review.
Castellanos clearly loses the football.
And it was Bryce Thornton, the safety, who's back today in action, that prized that ball loose.
Adrian Medley, the right guard, was in position, but he couldn't claim the football.
There it is. Again, Bryce Thornton ripping that ball clearly out. Tyreek Sapp right there. Medley right there.
Richie Leonard as well. But it was big number 88, Caleb Banks.
I just don't see any evidence of
Yeah,
that humongous scrum.
Not going to be able to
overturn
find
this.
the indisputable evidence you need. And you mentioned it, Rocky, but Caleb Banks, look, he came back to play in this game. This is a guy who's going to get drafted to the second or third round. Could have just moved on and prepared for the NFL draft and said, no, I want to play against Florida State. His first game last week, 29 snaps.
There he is, Johnny
There's
on
Banks.
the spot.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld.
Yeah.
What a swing of momentum. You've been in the bottom of a couple of those scrums.
It gets nasty down there, Jay. But big Caleb Banks, all 6'6", 330 pounds, comes up with that ball, and what a swing. Castellanos had the huge play right before that, getting ready to, and there it is, right near the red zone. They falter.
At Florida State, they're top 10 in total yards in all of college football, and they don't have the points and the wins to show for it, and that's a great example of why. You move the ball, but then you fumble it right on the red zone. Gives the ball back to Vernell Brown, third. Tripped up just as he was about to break free. He's got so much speed.
Great job with the arm slot by DJ Likewise. Not there, now it's there. A little sidearm delivery, a little Patrick Mahomes. And just shoot the ball, get the ball to VB3, let him just go to work.
Earl Little with a touchdown saving tackle,
Yes,
just to trip Brown up there. Lagway throws, dangerous ball, it's intercepted! Edwin Joseph has it, and he's pushed out of bounds as the Seminoles take it right back. The redshirt sophomore safety, Edwin Joseph, in perfect position to take it away.
And it was Jerry Wilson, the corner. It was a hitch route, but you got to get the defensive back to flip his hips. Jerry Wilson was just sitting on that thing. And some pressure right in the face of DJ Lagway. Maybe causing him to throw that, but again, a hitch route. That you got to run that corner off, get him to flip his hips. He was sitting on that thing, made a great play on the ball.
What a response by Florida State. The Gators have all the momentum after the Castellanos fumble, and boom, a takeaway 2 plays later to give you the ball exactly where you lost it just a few moments ago. So 1st and 10, Castellanos trying to shake off the fumble, looking for points ahead of halftime. Steps up, and he's sacked. Jaden Woods, the freshman, delivers again.
And they were going for the shot there, Jay. Castellanos was trying to find Deuce Robinson, wasn't there. Defensive line makes a great play.
Timeout.
2-minute timeout. Tempers starting to flare at the end of this first half. Florida State looking for points, down 10. Florida fans might have to look away from halftime because he won't be coming to Gainesville, as was announced yesterday. A lot of Gator Nation was hoping the Lane train would come to the Swamp. Their defense on the field here, trying to contain Castellanos. He's tripped up at the 15-yard line.
Great play for Florida State. You got all the time in the world, just under 2 minutes. You have 3 timeouts, get a great positive yardage play.
The red zone has plagued Gus Malzahn's offense all season long. Can they convert here right before halftime and cut into this 10-point deficit?
If I'm Florida, though, I am not allowing Castellanos to pick up this first down with his legs.
Gavin Sawchuk in the backfield. Castellanos throws. It's caught. First down, Florida State. They went to Danzy, who's got the Seminoles touchdown, and there's a flag. Castellanos slow to get up. He was hit.
Might be a late hit, Jay.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 5. Penalty is half the distance to the goal with an automatic first down.
And that's Miles Graham. And
Clearly late.
Clearly late. You just can't do that. It's unnecessary. A foolish penalty by a very smart, very good player right there. You know, some emotions maybe getting the best of him.
Florida State has elected to start the clock on the snap.
It's going to give even more yardage. Now the ball inside the 5-yard line for Florida State.
And you have all 3 timeouts, so you certainly can afford to run the football.
It looks like Gavin Sawchuk in at running back.
9 touchdowns on the season for Sawchuk. First and goal from the Gators 4. Castellanos kept it, scrambles, and he's in! Touchdown, Florida State! There's a scrum right at the goal line. We've seen this a few times in the first half, and now the penalty flags come. And that's why we have said a few times, regardless of record, this rivalry always delivers.
And what do they say, Jay? You got to play with emotion, but not be emotional. You know, some of the after-the-play stuff is what you can't afford to happen here. We'll get it sorted out, but what a run by Castellanos.
He looks like he's going to take a loss, and he ends up in the end zone.
He's like Houdini back there. I mean, he just is never down, never out.
The Castellanos, he was smart. He got into the end zone and he went immediately to the sideline.
That's it. Yeah, get it. Quarterbacks are smart. They get away from all the tussling and the fighting, right? Stay healthy.
Big touchdown there for Mike Norvell's team. They get the interception and they cash in for the touchdown. And now let's hear what the penalties were for.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. After the play, there were 2 unsportsmanlike conduct fouls, both against Florida State, number 13 and 87. Both their first of the game. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
And that is significant because Florida has all 3 timeouts here, and with all the penalty yardage, with 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, they are going to get very favorable field position with 3 timeouts and 1 minute and 11 seconds left in this first half. 3-point game. For 20 years, All-State celebrates every field goal and extra point made at participating universities by donating to the university's Athletic Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State. What a sequence at the end of this first half. Tommy Castellanos fumbles the football. Then Florida State gets it back on an interception, and Castellanos punches it in for a Seminole score.
I mean, that play was in no way, shape, or form designed to go out to the right side, but he just is a playmaker making a play. He's loving it. He's energized. You know, he throws the the pick, his defense, or he has the fumble, his defense has the interception, gets the ball back to him, and makes a bunch of plays.
But because of all the penalties against Mike Norvell's team in between the touchdown and the extra point, Jake Weinberg is going to have to kick this ball from the 20-yard line. Florida's got 3 timeouts. It's still more than a minute to work with, so very good chance the Gators can answer here before intermission.
And you mentioned the timeouts, Jay. That means they'll have the ability to give the ball to that guy right there, Jaden Ball.
If you're Florida State, you have to kick it away from him. And Weinberg has a very strong leg, but not much you can do when you're kicking off from your own 20-yard line. Baugh catches it at the 7. Returns it just past the 35-yard line.
That's about all you could hope for on there. It would be a nice job by Florida State, but a rivalry game, Jay, and just weird things happen, right? Florida State's driving, and then the costly fumble, and here we go. Florida's going to start marching down the field. Yeah, looking pretty good, getting the ball to VB3 on the outside, but then the tide gets turned. Great play with a deflection by Jerry Wilson. Joseph picks it up, and then Castellanos, nope, not there. How about there? Boom. Pop it in the end zone. Momentum shifts back to Florida State.
Florida still with a 3-point lead. DJ Lagway with the football, trying to shake off that interception. 3 timeouts. Lagway just pitches it off. VB3 spun down the 41-yard line.
Timeout. Florida.
The Gators use that first
seconds.
of 3 timeouts here. 55 seconds remaining in the first half.
This is where DJ Lagway is a guy who's had an up and down season, right? Coming into the game, 13 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. This is where he's got to be forceful with the ball to push it downfield, but not too much to put it in harm's way. They got a great opportunity here still with 2 timeouts.
Well, the last thing you want if you're Florida is to be too aggressive here and either turn it over, or if you get an incompletion here, that sets up 3rd and 5. You don't get the first down. Florida State can call a timeout and get the ball back because the Seminoles have 3 timeouts as well. So there is a lot that will unfold in the final 55 seconds of this first half.
Well, whatever Florida does, I'm trying to get the ball in the hands of Jaden Ball, whether a run or a pass. Something somewhat safe, and just see if he can break some tackles.
98 yards for Baugh in this first half, over 1,000 on the season. And they go to Baugh, why not? Well defended by Florida State. Jerry Wilson makes the tackle.
Florida, their second.
Now Florida takes another timeout there, which is interesting because I was about to ask you, if you're Florida State, do you take a timeout? And
that's what I thought was going to happen, actually.
Trust your defense to get this 3rd down stop. Instead, it's Florida who takes it. And let's take a look at our AT&T bracket insights. Take a look at the college football playoff. Who will be the 12 teams battling it out for a national championship? You can sign up on ESPN.com/CFP Challenge to play along. Chance to win $50,000. First round will be here before we know it. Who will be playing in it? That is the big question.
Florida has a lot of confidence in their offense right now to call a timeout in that situation, but they got to pick up this 3rd down.
3rd and 2, Lagway lofts it to Vernell Brown III for a Florida first down. Risky pass, just floated it up there, and VB3 brings it down
and moves the chains.
I think if I'm Florida right here, I'm going to take a chance, try to get a chunk yardage play. Get a little closer to that end zone. You got Vernell Brown up at the top of your screen there, playmaker.
Lagway steps up, in trouble. Just throws it over at the Florida sideline, incomplete. James Williams chasing down Lagway. Did well just to throw it where the Seminoles couldn't take it away.
See Florida State, a rotation of D linemen bringing in 4 fresh bodies. They want to try to get after DJ Lagway here, not allow him to sit back in that pocket.
Seminoles send 4. Lagway steps up, throws. It's dropped. Vernell Brown III was wide open. Lagway hit him right in the hands and he dropped it.
Man, on that corner route, had him wide open. We saw earlier for Florida State, Usmain Chroma with the drop on the wheel route. Now it's Vernell Brown wide open, no one there, and that's the old, you got to catch the ball before you try to get upfield.
Timeout. Florida, their 3rd and final.
And now
30
Florida
seconds.
uses their final timeout ahead of this 3rd and 10. And here's the thing, if you don't convert this 3rd and 10, Florida State's going to use a timeout and make you punt the ball away.
And guess what? They have Deuce Robinson, one of the biggest vertical deep play threats in all of college football, and Castellanos has the arm to get it to him and get that ball down the field in a hurry. I'm not sure I would have taken that last time out if I'm Florida, especially after that drop ball. I think at that point you got to say maybe it's best to let that clock bleed down here and get the half.
Well, the one thing the Gators have done well tonight offensively is convert on 3rd down. They're 6 of 7 coming into the game, one of the worst 3rd down teams in college football. But can they convert on a 3rd and 10 here? Play clock down to 3. Lagway steps up, throws, and it's incomplete. So the clock stops with 28 seconds remaining. There's a scuffle down over the Florida sideline. Florida State doesn't even have to use a timeout. They're going to get the ball back here.
And Billy Gonzalez has got to be very frustrated with that. With that drive, I mean, well covered, but not a great throw, and now they're going to have to punt the ball to a team with 3 timeouts.
Now, special teams was a disaster for Florida State in last week's loss to NC State. I've never seen anything like this 4th quarter. A punt that hits KJ Kirkland's helmet, and then a muffed punt by Squirrel White. White doesn't attempt to catch this ball, and it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. And everything that could go wrong last week did go wrong for Florida State, so they'll be relieved to see that bounce in for a touchback. And now, how aggressive are you with 3 timeouts, 19 seconds, and Tommy Castellanos here if you're Gus Malzahn?
I think you can be aggressive because you're in full control. You got the timeouts, Florida doesn't. As I mentioned earlier, you also have Deuce Robinson. If I'm Florida, I'm making sure I have someone on him and over the top of him, because that's the guy that can hurt you deep. He's going to be at the slot. Here at the bottom of your screen right there. I'm going to make sure I have somebody covering him there, and then also a safety over the top.
Delayed handoff. Jalen Lucas. You can afford to do that when you have 3 timeouts. Mike Norvell uses one there. 13 seconds remaining.
Florida State, their first. 30 seconds. Please reset the game clock to 14 seconds. Thank you.
There's Norvell and Malzahn. who Norvell brought in actually exactly a year ago today. It was announced right ahead of the Florida State game a year ago. We were in Tallahassee for it, and Malzahn came in and said, well, we need a whole new starting lineup. Brought in 11 new starters, ton of backups as well. And again, the points and the results haven't come for Malzahn in terms of wins and losses, but total yards, this offense has been in the top 10 in college football this season.
Well, you're right, Jay. The yards and the explosives, which is exactly what they need right here. Now, again, Deuce Robinson at the top of your screen. I'd make sure that safety can get over to that side and cover him.
They added a second, 14 for the Seminoles here. Castellanos holding onto the ball for a long time, now gonna run it. It scoots out of bounds with only 5 seconds remaining. I think he took too much time in that pocket.
He did. He was waiting for Deuce Robinson to come open over the middle. He was running a dig at about 20, but just didn't time up right.
Tommy Castellanos, he would need a 60-yard bomb here. Florida State.
Timeout.
Takes their second timeout.
Their second. 30 seconds.
I don't know that you can confidently run a play that's going to take less than 5 seconds, even with the timeout. So I think if you're Gus Malzahn, you dial up a 60-yard Hail Mary here to end the first half. And again, if Castellanos has the arm to throw it 60 yards, you certainly have the guy you want in a jump ball in Deuce Robinson.
Well, they have both those things. Castellanos, for a smaller guy, has a rocket for an arm. He can get it downfield. And Deuce Robinson, again, even if he's covered, he has the height and the vertical jump ability to just flat go up and get that thing. If I'm Florida, I am just echoing it again and again in the huddle. Nothing behind us, nothing over our heads. Keep it in front of us. So Deuce Robinson, 4 catches for 60 yards tonight. There he is again right there. Florida only playing 2 deep.
Florida State gets it off quickly with 1 second remaining. Pittman hauls it in, and that buys Tommy Castellanos an extra 5 yards here ahead of the final play of this first half. You know it'll be a Hail Mary.
The question is how many guys are they going to rush if you're Florida? 3. If I'm Florida, I would rush 3 and I would drop 8 into coverage. Right now they're dropping, you're talking 30 yards deep. There's 5 guys back there. They're out of the screen.
Gators send pressure. Castellanos heaves it up. That is well short of the end zone. I think he just threw it away with pressure coming.
That's the end.
So
of the
Florida
second quarter.
survives at the end of this first half and preserves a 3-point lead. The Gators will get the ball to start the second half. And Mike Norvell talking to his team, a team that's desperate to win their first road game in 735 days. Their last road win was here at the Swamp. And Norvell's keeping his team on the field for an extended period. We'll hear from Norvell to start the second half. His team trailing by 3 at the Swamp. Let's get you into the studio with Kevin Connors.
Mike, what did you just say to your team out here on the field before you sent them to the locker room?
Well, I thought they did a good job there in the second quarter, just kind of settling down. Didn't get off to the start that we wanted, but be able to get a stop, put a couple touchdowns on the board, and now it's you go in the second half. It's one play at a time, and you'll get a lot of belief in what these guys are going to do.
You mentioned that stop. Edwin Joseph intercepts DJ Lagway to get the ball back.
You're watching Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week.
We welcome you back to the Swamp. College football on ESPN is presented by Claude. Fun first half, awesome atmosphere. We told you, regardless of record, this was going to have some juice to it, and that first half did. Florida, a 17-14 lead as we are about to start the second half. Hi, everybody. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you. We'll be joined by Marilyn Payne on the sideline in just a moment. And this is shaping up, Rock, to be a close, competitive game down the stretch in this in-state rivalry.
Yeah, you mentioned a competitive game, a little chippiness, right? About 3 different scrums we've seen in this heated rivalry, but for Florida, it's been Jaden Baugh, 18 rushes for 101 yards. He has been clearly the bell cow guy, and I think they got to keep feeding him here in the second half. He's that dynamic of a player. Just let him keep touching the ball. And then for Florida State, Tommy Castellanos, thought he's done some good things. He does well with his legs, creating extending plays, as we see right here, but also the ability to get the ball downfield. And this was just a fantastic read on the touchdown. Just finds a hole, squirts through it, and gets some momentum back for Florida State.
It'll be Florida that starts with the football. The Gators a 3-point lead, trying to close out what has been a frustrating season where they've seen their head coach fired, played the final 5 games with an interim head coach, Billy Gonzalez, looking for their first win down the stretch without Billy Napier on the sideline. So much of the noise is who is going to be the head coach for Florida. The teams had to block that out this week, and they're trying to prevent the Noles from getting to the bowl. You know, went for some trickery there. I wouldn't quite call it an onside kick. Weinberg didn't get it cleanly, and we'll check in with Maryland down on the sideline.
After Mike Norvell's offense was able to respond off the defense, getting his team the ball back, he said that's how we have to continue to play. That response is what a game like this requires. Knowing that Florida gets the ball back right here to start the second half, he says better tackling is the most important thing for us in the second half. Meanwhile, Billy Gonzalez says we have to start fast. We've been in this position in 3 of the last 5 games with our backs against the wall where we have to do more, and I told my guys, go out and do it like you know how. He also said play with emotion, but like you guys have mentioned, don't be emotional.
Baugh up the middle, no surprise there. 18 carries for him, over 100 yards on the game, over 1,000 on the season. And Rocky, in games Jaden Baugh goes over 100 yards, Florida is 3-0. When he's under 100, they're 0-8, and he's already hit that 100 mark.
Yeah, he's already hit that 100 mark, and if I'm Billy Gonzalez, I'm seeing if he can hit the 200 mark. I'd like to see him get him involved in the pass game a little bit more because he's such a weapon out of the backfield.
Play action. Lagway steps up, taken down. The Seminoles swarming. Stefan Thompson, a 4-yard sack.
Stefan Thompson has played a lot of college football. He's just patient, and just a great job of adding. He's the spy on that play, but he senses DJ Lagway is going to escape vertically. Boom, comes up, lays the wood, makes a nice tackle.
Thompson, who has been with his defensive coordinator, Tony White, at all 3 stops, Syracuse, Nebraska, and now Florida State. Final college football game, big sack. 3rd and 9, Lagway in trouble again, down he goes! The Florida State defense shot out of a cannon to start this second half. Jason Jenkins and James Williams, back-to-back sacks. Caden Jones, the right tackle, is down for Florida. We'll step aside ahead of 4th down. Right tackle Caden Jones clearly in pain, limping off the field on a third down play where the offensive line missed an assignment.
Yeah, and the pressure's going to come off
now 82.
the offense's left side here. There's Desir, and James Williams going to come. Nice swim move by Desir, and look, as he trips him up, he's going to leg whip Caden Jones, and I think that's what caused the injury. Great pressure, and so Caden Jones is okay. He's now in the tent.
3 and out forced by this Florida State defense. And Squirrel White, another miscue, race for the ball, and Florida can't keep it out of the end zone. So Squirrel White, who fumbled on a muffed punt last week against NC State, clearly misjudges that punt.
I just don't understand it. Either catch it or get the heck away from it. One or the other.
That punt ends up going 71 yards for the touchback.
Those punt returners are told to, you back your heels up to the 10, you come for it. If you can come for it and catch it, do it. If not, get away from it. Just a little bit close. But speaking of close, Florida almost able to down that ball inside the 1.
Drake Stubbs had it in his hands at the 1-yard line, but couldn't keep it out of the end zone. So Tommy Castellanos in the Seminoles offense. Here's Castellanos tucking and running, slides a yard shy of the first down marker.
I think Florida State needs to do more of this, because the more quarterback runs, the more that is going to open up things on the outside. That defense is going to be forced to come. We got to take away the quarterback run. We got to get some guys on that interior. It's going to open up some shots to the outside to Deuce Robinson and company.
Well, the Seminoles defense did their job. They set the tone with a 3 and out. Now can the offense take the lead on this drive? Croma picks up the first down on a 2nd and 1. So moves the chains.
We mentioned Florida State running back by committee, including Castellanos. 7 different Seminoles have rushed the ball tonight, and for Florida, it's been a lot of Jaden Ball.
Castellanos leads the team in rushing, and that has been evident so far tonight. 47 rushing yards for the senior quarterback. Evading pressure, throws off his back foot, jump ball. Robinson caught it. What a grab. Deuce Robinson, he did not have positioning, but the junior made it work. Spectacular.
I mean, horrible decision, horrible throw, but when you got a guy like Deuce Robinson, he can make things all better. I mean, look at this. He is covered up, throw the ball across his body, across the field, doesn't even see him.
The field of a completed pass is under further review.
Let's see here if he's able to secure the ball and get a foot in. No, that's it. Yeah, I think by the time he is able to secure that ball, he's a great shot by our crew here. By the time, okay, there's the ball secure.
He's out.
And there's that foot right there. There's the possession, but the first foot that gets down goes out of bounds. Almost an incredible play.
Yeah, he secures the ball inbounds, but the foot lands out of bounds, and this will be overturned.
But still, I mean, how fun is this? He had no business throwing that ball the way he did to Deuce Robinson, but almost made a heck of a play.
And after this game, a decision to make if you're Deuce Robinson. Do you go to the NFL draft? Do you enter the portal?
Review, the pass was incomplete. It's 2nd down.
Or do you come back and play for the team you always dreamed of playing for? His dad, a Knoll, he knows what it's like to play in big games against the Gators, and 3 good options for Robinson.
Yeah, and I think a lot's going to depend on who the quarterback is going to be next year for Florida State. Castellanos likely out of eligibility. This place is getting loud, Jay.
Ahead of a 2nd and 10. Handoff. Randy Pittman, the tight end, gains 8. Sets up a 3rd and short.
They really love this end-around jet sweep. It's a big part of their offense. That's the most successful run at it they've had all night tonight.
This Gator crowd significantly louder in this second half. 3-point lead, trying to get off the field on 3rd and 2. Roydell Williams spun down, not gonna get there. Miles Graham, big time tackle, and now a decision to make. 4th and 1 from your own 40.
I punt this ball, this area of the field, I punt this ball. You can't afford to give the ball back to Florida on the 40-yard line, but they try to make it look like they're gonna roll Castellanos out of there, but a great job of eyes by the fantastic young linebacker Miles Graham. He slips through and makes a tackle in the backfield.
So you say punt this ball away?
I'd punt this ball away.
Gus Malzahn and Mike Norvell have a different opinion. Here comes Castellanos. Castellanos goes under center, keeps it, rolls right, in trouble, needs a yard. Did he get there? Mike Norvell signaling that Castellanos did indeed pick up the first down. It's all going to be about where this ball is marked.
The runner was short of the line to gain. First down, Florida.
The officials have ruled turnover on downs. And for the second time tonight, the Florida defense has a turnover on downs.
It's just such a tough part of the field to go for, and Castellanos trying to reach that ball out, but by the time he reaches out across the marker, his right foot is out of bounds, and now the Gators are going to get the ball in incredible field position when we come back.
The ruling on the field is Florida football, turnover on downs, Gators leading by 3. And Rocky, football is a game of inches, and Castellanos stretches this ball out. His foot goes out of bounds right as he's starting to stretch it.
Yeah, you said game of inches, Jay. Sometimes it's a game of centimeters. As that ball, his foot comes down, it's so close. But I think in that case, indisputable video evidence is not there. And Jay, that is why I would not have gone for that play right there on 4th down, because you give the Gators the ball on the 40-yard line with momentum.
If the ruling on the field was a first down, I think it would have been upheld as well. People are going to look at that screen grab and say it should have been a first down, but the call on the field was turnover on downs, and Jaden Baugh continues to feast.
He's fired up. He is a beast. I mean, just a simple zone play to the outside, and look at the speed to get to the edge, running over guys. He is feeling it, and you know, it's what you love. Florida's in the midst, Jay, of a 3-8 season. These guys are playing their absolute hearts out right now.
An opportunity to finish the season with a win at the Swamp and deny your rival a chance at bowl season. Right back to Baugh, a broken tackle inside the 5, and that's a face mask at the end of the run. Ashlyn Barker got all of Baugh's mask, and this will set up Florida inside the 5 after another big-time Baugh run.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 27. Penalty is half the distance to the goal with an automatic first down.
And just watch Jaden Baugh in the hole here, the move he puts on Elijah Herring, the run back, 31. Boom, right there. Just, it's that quick, it happens that fast. And then the face mask coming
Florida
at the
number
end.
8 is now 41. 8 is 41.
But it's just that foot quickness in the hole, Jay, that makes him special. Elijah Herring, a normal running back, he drops him to the ground, but not Jaden Baugh.
Lagway goes under center. Play action. Rolls out. Throws. It's caught. Touchdown, Florida. Lagway pulled the ball out. Everybody thought it was going to Baugh, and Hayden Hansen left all alone for an easy pitch and catch.
So as I said earlier, when you're running the ball that way, it just opens up the play action pass. Second time on the same area of the field.
And the Gators regain a 10-point lead.
And the Gators, they get the momentum off the big 4th down stop. It's Jaden Baugh, Jaden Baugh, Jaden Baugh, and then Hayden Hansen, nice throw from DJ Lagway. Gators up 24-14.
The college football playoff selection show, the bracket will be filled. Judgment Day is here.
Next Saturday, live from Charlotte, ACC Network has you covered ahead of the ACC Championship game. It starts at 5 Eastern, takes you all the way through postgame, everything you need to know. ACC Network. Now, Florida State fans thought after they beat Alabama week 1 of this season, they might be playing in Charlotte in an ACC Championship, but a season that spun out of control, 4 straight conference losses, and now just trying to get to 500, 6-6, and you're down 10 in the swamp with a mountain to climb.
And such a momentum swing for Florida to get the big 4th down stop and punch it in the end zone for 7 points. They got to find a way to crawl back now.
Touchback, let's check into the studio with Kevin Connors. Yeah, we need
Off the
Rocky.
top rope, baby, let's go.
We need Rocky in the steel cage. Now, this has been a steel cage fight. Always is between the Noles and the Gators. Florida State with the football, trailing by 10. No running room there. Singleton totally swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Cameron James, the junior from Orlando.
And Florida, this half, has lived in the backfield of Florida State. Just tremendous penetration. That Florida State offensive line not able to get any movement.
Castellanos steps up, pressured, and sacked. This Florida defense is swarming in the second half. Brendan Bett buries Castellanos for Florida's 4th sack.
It's just great complementary rush here because they're going to get the pressure off the side here, but this side of the line pushes the pocket back into the face of Castellanos. He has nowhere to escape. Look at it, there's no open lane for him to squirt through.
3rd and 15, Castellanos trying to spin out of a sack. It just throws it away. I don't know if that ball got back to the line of scrimmage and Castellanos still in the tackle box. The officials talking it over. They're going to just rule no intentional grounding, just an incompletion. Florida State forced a punt.
This Florida defense, and this time it's Bryce Thornton who's done a great job on a couple times on the blitz. And he does something that's not easy, and that's pressure Tommy Castellanos and force a bad throw.
An all too familiar script for this Florida State fan base watching this team on the road struggle again. Trailing by 10, and Florida's got good field position here. Let's take a look at our college football playoff rankings brought to you by Capital One. Ohio State survives on the road at the Big House. They'll stay 1. Indiana will stay 2. It's Texas A&M who will fall out of that top 4 after losing last night to Texas.
Yeah, but they're going to miss the SEC championship game, but you wonder how mad they are because they're going to get some time off, but they're still going to be in the playoff. Time to get Marcel Reed healthy. He looked a little dinged up last night with the ankle. So Texas A&M certainly still a big part of this conversation.
Florida a 10-point lead with the football. Jaden Baugh has feasted all night long. He's up over 140 yards rushing tonight.
And this is an absolutely critical drive right now for Florida State's defense. This is an opportunity for Florida to just drive a dagger into the Noles' hearts here. If they put together a slow scoring drive, Noles got to come up with something.
Play clock down to 3. Lagway just gets it off, hands it off to Baugh. And he's met. It'll be 3rd and short as we check in with Maryland.
Florida State's defensive staff is telling these guys, mind the fundamentals against Jaden Ball's impactful run game, pointing out on these iPads where gaps are missed assignments for the linebackers and defensive line coach Terrence Knight, and telling the D-line, get out there and keep fighting. You guys know what you have to do to win this one.
And I think the most impressive part, Marilyn, is how, again, we spoke about the strength of this Florida State defensive line, is that interior line, and this Florida Gator offensive line doing a great job pushing them back.
Direct snap to Baugh, trying to churn those legs for 2 yards. This will all be about the spot. Similar to Tommy Castellanos on the earlier drive where they spotted him short.
I think he's short.
And he is. 4th and 1.
Right here, if I'm Florida, I'm going for this thing. This area of the field, other side of the 50-yard line. I got Jaden Ball in the backfield. Let's go.
And that's what Billy Gonzalez chooses to do. Offense stays on the field. Miscommunication for Florida State. They didn't have enough players on the field.
Yeah, they were running a guy on the field late.
Norvell said, I got a timeout in.
Wow. Yeah, Jason Jenkins, the defensive end, was running on the field late. Well, with all that said,
I don't know if they got the yard.
I thought they stopped him.
Let's hear what the flag is.
Legal substitution, defense, 12 players on the field. 5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
Untimely penalties have crushed Florida State's team this season. There's another one on 4th and 1.
And untimely fundamentals, you got to have all your guys on the field, especially your D-line. You know that Florida's going to run the ball. And again, we talked about it's a game of inches. They didn't get it by much. And running a guy on the field late, it's just those kind of things have just plagued Mike Norvell and this Seminoles team all year.
And Norvell's face says it all. He was asked after the loss to NC State, has this program lived up to the standard? And he said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
He's taking ownership of it.
But the FSU leadership has stuck with Norvell earlier in this week, releasing a statement saying he will be the football coach next season in Tallahassee. And it's penalties like those that just drives your fan base crazy as you're trying to get off the field on a 4th and 1. Trailing by 10 in the second half. Right back to Baugh, stuffed. And Florida State's really loading this box to deny Baugh.
They're loading up, and I know Florida wants to run the ball here, but Jay, I think this is time you take a shot, you try some play action, and push this ball downfield as Florida State is continuing to bring those guys closer and closer to that line of scrimmage. And at some point, you got to stop the bleeding here.
Right back to Baugh. Hole opens up. He runs right through it for a Florida first down.
They are content right now to just keep riding Jaden Ball. Nothing fancy about this. Just a zone blocking scheme and letting Ball hit the outside. Not much of an edge on that Florida State defense. I'd still, at some point here, Jay, I'd try a shot. Let's take something. It's first down. This would be the time to do it, but you see the day Jaden Ball has had. I mentioned, Jay, they need to get in the ball 35 times a day. It might be 45.
Well on their way, and it's a new career high, 160 yards rushing.
Something came on the field. Giant gold balloon.
Somebody's got to pop the balloon here.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Oh, it's got glitter in it. What the heck is going on?
Florida State's defense desperate to get off the field. Lagway. Gonna tuck and run. DJ Lagway. Bounced out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
And there it is. That was a shot. They were looking to get J. Michael Sturdivant on the corner route deep, but it was well covered on the backside. Smart play by Lagway to not force that thing in. Picks up a couple with his legs. DJ Lagway's made good decisions all night tonight. He's got to continue that through this game.
Pitch. Broken tackle. VB3 trying to shake his way for a first down, and he does. Needed 3, got 3, and the chains move again for the Gators.
And that's why Vernell Brown is such a weapon. I mean, that's a tackle for loss for most players in the SEC. That's just what's going to happen, but he just has that shake to him. He picks up a first down.
Florida has gained 20 first downs in this game. Florida State just can't get off the field.
Just crushing the clock, too.
Pitch. Here's Baugh. Burst of speed. Untouched. Into the end zone. Jaden Baugh. Touchdown.
Florida 76 is now 82. 76 is 82.
Great blocking downfield. You see Vernell Brown blocking on the perimeter, springing Jaden Baugh. I mean, what a statement drive, finished off by a statement run from Jaden Baugh.
And Florida starting to separate in what has been a lost season for the Gators, where they fired their head coach. They want to end it here at home by beating their in-state rival. They're up 31-14.
And just, I mean, this is just old school, just, you know, student body, just run it that way, pitch it to your guy and let him run. I mean, this is like an old school youth football play. And the blocking downfield, getting to the second level, the third level. And then when you got a back like Jaden Baugh, you ain't got much to worry about.
182 yards on the night for Baugh, adds to what was already a career high for him.
In Florida State right now, Jay, with how that drive worked out, a soul-sucking drive from Florida. They need to get a big play here early. They need to find a way to get some momentum and some emotion back before it gets too late.
If you're a Florida State fan, you're thinking, how is this the same season that we beat Alabama? And not just beat them, throttled them.
Beat them bad. Yeah, 31-17 in that opening game. And we're like, here we go. Florida State's back, and they've been their own worst enemy most times along the way.
It feels like a lifetime ago. Trailing by 17. And we just mentioned Alabama coming up on ABC. 20 minutes from now, Alabama at Auburn, the 90th Iron Bowl. If the Tide wins, they'll play for an SEC championship, continue their college football playoff hopes. And as we're seeing tonight, there's nothing a rival loves more than popping that balloon and getting an opportunity to finish your rival's season.
Yeah, and Florida at 3-8 comes on the road into Florida, or excuse me, Florida State comes in, they're on the road, but Florida, with just being a 3-8 team, find a way to play well tonight.
Good run there out of the backfield from Chroma, the true freshman. Gain of 14. That's what you need to ignite the drive.
Yeah, you got to start putting together some positive plays and start stringing them together here before it gets too late.
Yeah, your safety net is gone if you're Florida State.
It sure is. I'm finding a way to get Deuce Robinson involved too here. We need a spark.
Right back to Chroma. Spins out of a tackle. Still on his feet. Churns his way for another first down. Hard running from the true freshman from Leesburg, Georgia.
And we talked about this being a running back by committee approach, but I think Chroma is the running back of the future for the Seminoles. And good to see him have some success here as just being a freshman.
Third straight carry. This time gang tackled and brought down. Well, this is where Florida State has had trouble. When they cross midfield, when they get to the red zone, that's when the drive stall for Mike Norvell's team. And this is a team that has not shown the ability to come from behind. 16 straight losses, trailing by 10 or more.
And Florida's done a good job all night tonight, Jay, of taking away those deep shots. This is an offense that likes to run, then take a deep shot. They've not been able to get that so far tonight. They need one.
Castellanos, right on the money. First down, Florida State. In the critical moments of this game, Makai Danzy has delivered a gain of 22.
Makai Danzy, everyone knows he's a track guy, full-time in the spring. Just tremendous upside, and you can see why. Does a nice job settling down that zone.
Castellanos, nobody open, decides to tuck and run. Takes it to the 25-yard line.
I think you're Castellanos, you're Florida State. You continue to, if it's there, run that ball. Run that ball, keep it, extend plays for Tommy Castellanos.
Final play of the third quarter. Castellanos tripped up. Does get to just about the 20-yard line as we head to the fourth quarter. Florida State needs a Herculean comeback on the road in the Swamp. Down 17 as we head to the fourth. You're watching ESPN College Football presented by Claude.
I get chills when we call one of these games.
Legends are made in that building right there. We on a whole nother level. Bigger than ever we bet. SEC champions.
Knowles driving down 14-31. Mike, what does your offense have to do to score right here?
Well, obviously we got to eliminate the negative plays, and we've had some explosives that have shown up, but we just got to eliminate, get behind the chains, and then obviously we got to convert on those third and fourth down situations. But you like to see the guys getting the ball down the positive side of the field. We just got to put it in the end zone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Norvell sounds like a broken record throughout this season.
Right. Same story.
They get it to this side of the field, and that's where things have gone wrong for Florida State, not just tonight, but all season long. And now they need a huge comeback, down 17 on the road, where they have not won a road game in 735 days. And that won't help. On 3rd and 3, Castellanos dragged down by Jaden Woods, the freshman phenom.
And Jaden Woods is probably Florida's only true edge guy, and there he's coming off that right side, and he just does a great job of getting skinny and coming tight right down that line. No one picks him up. You see the speed. Fantastic play, gonna now force a field goal attempt.
So Mike Norvell has to settle for 3 from straight away. Jake Weinberg, who has had his struggles over the course of this season, just 12 of 18. From 42, and he missed it. Not even close. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. And the question is, does this flag affect the missed field goal? Will Florida State get another shot at this?
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 88, his first of the game. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Florida ball, 1st and 10.
So the missed field goal stands, but Florida will be backed up.
See if we can see what happened. There's the missed field goal. Jaden Woods, he's the one that came up with the big play there that forced the field goal attempt, then missed.
Take a look at our college football headlines presented by Twisted Tea. Everyone's talking about Lane Kiffin's decision, although they're talking about it less here in Gainesville after the news yesterday that Florida is no longer in the Lane Train sweepstakes. Our Pete Thamel has said that Tulane's head coach, John Sumrall, has emerged as the favorite to be the head coach here in Gainesville. Everybody focused on finishing off Florida State's season, though. 17-point lead with the ball. And Baugh continues to run like he can't be stopped. That's his 28th carry for 190 yards.
And Jay, if Florida State thinks that there was a steady diet of Jaden Ball before, they're definitely going to see it now. They're going to just keep handing it to 13, and why not? Florida's fantastic performance.
The tradition in between the 3rd and 4th quarter, Tom Petty, stand my ground, won't back down. Even at 3 and 8, that is what the Gators have done tonight here at home. And they are 13 minutes and change away from ending Florida State's season.
Offense, number 53, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So if you're the Seminoles, you've got not a lot of time on your side. You need a takeaway, you need a quick stop. You do have an explosive offense at times, so you can get a quick strike, but down 17 here with...
Well, you're right, and it's up to DJ Lagway to be smart with the football when they do, in fact, throw the ball, to not give a takeaway up, because that is exactly what Florida State desperately needs right now.
A pitch, Baugh following blockers for a Florida 1st down.
And Jay, I've played linebacker in college and 8 years in the NFL, and there is nothing more demoralizing than when an offensive line is just zoning one way and then just leading up on linebackers, knocking guys back, and you got a 230-pound running back going downhill on you. It's awful. It's completely awful, and Florida State is feeling it right now.
The Seminoles simply just can't get Florida off the field. The Gators have produced some long drives, as long as 8 minutes in this game. Florida State can't afford to have another long drive here, down by 17. And the question for the Seminoles is, you have so much talent. You look at their roster: Deuce Robinson, a lot of guys on Tony White's defense like Darrell Jackson Jr. and Earl Little Jr. You got some of the best players at their respective positions, and yet you're in jeopardy of not even going 6-6.
You just wonder with, guys are coming in the portal, like you could have great players, but they all got to gel together as a team, as one unit. They have not done that well enough this year.
And clearly the road has been a problem.
Yeah.
It was a problem a year ago when they went winless on the road. If they lose tonight, 0-5 on the road this season. They haven't won on the road since they were here 2 years ago at the Swamp, 735 days ago. And Gus Malzahn said it. He goes, I've never seen a team play so different at home or the road.
And just after a while, what happens, it gets in your head, and then when you're on the road and something bad happens, it's like you go, okay, here we go again, and you can't afford to do that.
Big third down here, now or never for FSU. They need to get the Gators off the field. 4 yards for Florida to keep the drive alive. Who else? Jaden Baugh, he delivers again. And with that run, he goes over 200 yards rushing tonight and 1,100 yards rushing on the season.
And he has just feasted on just these outside runs. And there's just no edge to this Florida State defense, and he's taking advantage. What a tremendous performance.
The first 200-yard rushing game at Florida since 2004, and the most rushing yards ever by a Gator against the Seminoles.
And don't forget, he went over 1,000 for the year in that first half.
First underclassman to do it since Emmitt Smith for the Gators. There's another big play. This time Lagway picks out Mizell back in Seminoles territory. And it is all Gators in this second half.
Great complementary football. When you run the ball the way they are, then you pull out an RPO, and that linebacking core, that second level, comes down to stop Jaden Baugh. There slips the slant. They've done that 2 or 3 times a night to perfection.
In a season to forget for Florida, where you fire your head coach, you play the final 5 games with an interim, they're putting together their best performance at the season against FSU in the regular season finale. This is KD Daniels spelling Baugh out of the backfield.
And Jay, you say, okay, you're 3-8. There's nothing to really play for. But I've been there, man. You're a player. You want to win a game just to feel good, right? Just to get a good feeling. You put so much time and work into being a football player, and you don't have the season you want. But if you can come out here, especially in a big rivalry game, on the road and get a win, it just makes it all worth it. And they're well on their way.
Felt like they battled against Georgia and Ole Miss, just didn't get the results, but at least played well. Got rolled against Kentucky in Tennessee. You wondered which Florida team would show up, and Maryland, our sideline reporter, said it before the game. When you have a rivalry game and a chance to finish your hated rival's season and prevent them from going to a bowl game, that gives you a little extra juice. But certainly that has shown up tonight at the Swamp.
Yeah, I mentioned at the top of the show, Jay, over 50% of the players on each of these rosters are from the state of Florida. They grew up playing against each other and maybe teammates with a guy in youth football, high school, and now you're out here battling them in college in a great rivalry matchup.
Lagway, quick hitter, finds TJ Abrams, who's taken down. A lot of time continues to tick off this clock. As 4th down comes up, a decision to make. Under 8 minutes remaining. Florida's going to try a field goal attempt. It's going to be a 54-yard attempt. Thought maybe Florida might keep their offense on the field, or even a pooch punt to make Florida State have to drive the full field. Instead, it's Trey Smack from 54. Plenty of leg, and it's good. Trey Smack drills it from 54, and Florida goes up by 20.
In a season where there's been a lot of heartache, the Florida Gators look like they're having a heck of a lot of fun right now. They get stopped, but they force the field goal, and it sneaks inside the upright. Gators up big.
Hey, if you're looking for some WWE Survivor Series, it's on right now, streaming on the ESPN app. Stream.espn.com/WWE. The Survivor Series, a Thanksgiving week tradition since 1987. Well, this is a Thanksgiving week tradition going back to 1958 here in the state of Florida. Rocky Boyman, Jay Alter with you, all part of Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week. Jalen Lucas on the return. He's tripped up at the 15. And that's the type of night and type of season it has been for the Seminoles, trailing by 20 when we come back.
ESPN College Football is presented by Claude, the AI for problem solvers.
Knowles could use Jameis Winston right about now.
Yeah, that's right.
Famous Jameis, he might be able to claw you back down 20 on the road midway through this fourth quarter. And you look at this atmosphere at the Swamp tonight, you would never believe that Florida was a 3-8 team. That's what makes the rivalry game so special. Florida State trying to keep their season alive, get to 6-6. Who would have ever thought the Seminoles would be in this position when they beat Alabama week 1, needing a miracle just to get to a bowl game? Castellanos fires, pass is caught. Randy Pittman, the tight end, makes a grab.
And the guy that got to get involved is Deuce Robinson. He has just one target in the second half, and that was that one that went out of bounds, was ruled not a catch. You got to get him involved.
Seminoles pick up the first down, but now the clock is working against you. As we tick under 7 minutes in regulation, you got to go, and you got to go quick.
You're right, everything working against you. The clock, Florida's defense playing lights out right now.
Shutting out the Seminoles in this second half. Castellanos heaves a deep ball, looking for Robinson. They can't connect. How about Javari Flowers, a true freshman?
And he has been matched up on Robinson all night, and that is textbook coverage. I mean, you get in phase, you keep your hand on the receiver without grabbing him, still able to look back and track the ball. I mean future is bright for these corners at Florida.
It'll be the responsibility of the new head coach, whoever that will be, to keep them in Gainesville. Castellanos scrambles. Nobody open. Has to run it. Takes it out of bounds. This will set up third and medium.
And Florida State has just never been able to get their run game going. How they win is they run the ball, they do what Florida's doing to them, is that you got to run the ball, and then condense the defense down and take shots. They've just not been able to get that defense to fold down in that box where they can take them.
Pressure comes on third down. Castellanos throws it into traffic, and it falls incomplete. Landon Thomas, the intended target.
Another freshman quarterback for Florida. I mean, between Javari Flowers and Ben Hanks, they have made some big plays tonight in the pass game.
Mike Norvell leaves his offense on the field for a 4th and 6. He knows this is the game. A chance at a ball hanging by a thread in the Swamp. Miscue. Penalty flies. Castellanos heaves it downfield. And it's caught! What a catch! Randy Pittman. The question is, will it count? There was a miscommunication at the line, an early snap. Now Castellanos heaved it.
Illegal motion, offense number 1, moving forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty.
And that is the story of the season for Florida State. Best play of the game, 49 yards, and it won't count.
Self-inflicted mistakes. He's coming up to the line to change the play, and for some unknown reason, Luke Pettibon, the center, snaps in the ball. It's just crucial, fundamental, simple things they've not been able to execute well this year.
In critical moments. It showed up a week ago in the fourth quarter at NC State with the special teams miscues. It showed up on defense early in the year against Virginia and Pitt. Now a 4th and 11. Castellanos throws. It's caught. Spectacular one-handed grab, LaWayne McCoy, and he held on.
Unbelievable catch here. It's a corner route, and he gets the ball just before the pressure gets to him. And the ball is actually thrown behind the receiver. And McCoy just made that look easy. He knew he was going to take a shot. He felt
that DB right there going to hit him right in the rib cage, and he still hung on.
Play has been blown dead. They're going to take a look at this.
And they may be looking at targeting here, Jay.
Prior to the snap, replay stopped the game to review a potential targeting foul. The previous play is under further review.
All right, let's get a look at it here.
And if McCoy does not make this spectacular catch, the Florida State season is over.
I mean, unbelievable catch. And that one, it's hard to tell. Did he lead? Did he lunge? And the first thing that hit was his. Ooh, I think that's going to be targeted. That's Lagonza Hayward, the freshman safety. He's got these defenseless player. There's a upward thrusting motion. The question is, did he hit him in the shoulder pads before the contact of the helmet? This might be a better angle. What hits first?
I think he hits him in the shoulder.
I think he hits him in the chest and the shoulders first too, and then the helmet contact is secondary. I don't think that's going to be target. I would not call that targeting.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld.
So upheld, meaning no targeting.
No targeting. And I am thankful for officials to call that. There's such pressure on them to call targeting. Sometimes when it's not there, it wasn't targeting on that play. It was a good football play. Hit him in the shoulders first, and it doesn't draw the flag. Good job.
So even with the spectacular fourth down conversion, time is not on the Seminole side as we tick near 5 minutes remaining, down 20. And a drop won't help. Gavin Sawchuk could not hang on. The untimely self-inflicted penalties and errors have piled up for Florida State tonight. They've piled up on the road all season long.
It is. It's the little things. It's right there. It's, you know, when you got an easy catch, you make the catch before you try to turn upfield and make yardage. This is a last gasp effort here by Florida State.
And you need a quick score. A completed pass into Gators territory. But a long drive that, even if it results in points, it's got to be quicker, right, Rocky?
Yeah, I agree. And I think you do whatever you can to get this first down, and then at some point you got to take a shot here. You need points in a hurry.
And instead, they run it on 3rd and 3, trying to pick up the first down.
Close.
Sawchuk, forward progress does move the chains, but this clock continues to run down.
I think the second effort by Sawchuk there.
Flag thrown, pre-snap.
The ball was not ready for play. All officials were not in position. It's first down.
Florida State's trying to go fast, but gotta wait till the officials are set.
At 4 minutes of this game, you're down 20. First down, got to dial up a deep shot, right?
Yeah, you do. But the problem is Florida's playing too deep, which is what you want to play when you want to take away the pass.
Castellanos checks it down. McCoy again, down the sideline, inside the 20. That's the chunk yardage the Seminoles needed.
Can't tell if they're playing man or zone, but Alfonso Allen, the safety, was running with his man, and no one was waiting in the flat there to pick up McCoy. You're right, that's a chunk yardage play they need.
Gain of 27 puts the Seminoles in the red zone. Castellanos in trouble, rolling right. His eyes are in the end zone. Throws, it's caught! Touchdown, Florida State, Lawan McCoy. He had the fourth down conversion to keep the drive alive, and now he's got the touchdown.
And a great job by Castellanos just keeping that play alive. That's what he does. He scrambles, he extends. And he found McCoy deep, who just jumped out of the stadium and snatched that ball out of the sky.
Seminoles cut the lead to 13. Still a mountain to climb with 3:07, but they've given themselves a puncher's chance. Looking for a miracle in the swamp. Looking forward to that one, Kevin, when we are done here at the Swamp. Florida State with a touchdown, and now lining up for an onside kick, trailing by 13. 3:07 to go. And Florida recovers. Gators make it look easy in the special teams game, and now can try and run this clock out.
Yeah, and I agree with the decision right there, because at one point you say, okay, they got the 2-minute timeout and 3 timeouts, but you've not been able to stop Jaden Ball all night. The dude has 210 yards, so I agree with the decision. It just wasn't executed well enough.
And those 210 yards makes it over 1,100 on the season. That is a new record for a sophomore at Florida. They told you earlier, he is the first underclassman since Emmitt Smith to rush for 1,000 yards in under 200 carries. That is rarefied air. And now a chance to finish this game. Of course they go to Baugh, running hard like he's run all night. Florida State uses their first of 3 timeouts.
Timeout. Florida State, their first.
What a night for Baugh. Historic night for that sophomore.
3-0-1.
Yeah, I mean, Florida was committed right out of the gate to get him involved and lean on him this entire game, and he's just delivered. I mean, tough runs, running over guys, great cuts in the hole, legs never stop. He is the complete running back out there, and Jay, Florida fans are hoping he stays here in Gainesville, but I'm telling you right now, that is one of the most sought-after college football players in the country heading into this offseason.
Yeah, whoever takes the job, gets the job. First phone call is Jaden Baugh, and an empty check. It says pitch.
Name the school. Name the school, and I guarantee you, I don't care how many running backs they have, they want Jaden Baugh. And it's Florida's job, and the new coach and all that, to keep number 13 here in Gainesville.
Frustrating season for Florida fans. You fire Billy Napier, and then the question was, can you get Lane Kiffin? And that was answered yesterday with a no. Pete Thamel reporting that John Summerall, Tulane's head coach, has emerged as the clear favorite. That decision expected to be made tomorrow. Tulane playing right now. You know, a lot of fans have said that would be underwhelming because we just had a group of 5 head coach and Billy Napier, and that didn't work out. We want a proven commodity, and here's the problem. Who's out there?
Who is it?
Lane Kiffin has said no. Eli Drinkwitz has signed an extension with Mizzou. Clark Lee has signed an extension with Vandy. So I don't know if there's that proven commodity that exists on the market right now.
It doesn't seem to be that big name that everyone's going to agree upon.
Baugh dancing, broken tackles. This game will go down as the Jaden Baugh game.
He might be one of the best college running backs I've seen in the 12 years I've been doing this as an analyst. I mean, what a cut. It's God-given, it's natural. You don't teach it, you can't coach it up. Just putting your left foot in the ground and sneaking forward for yardage.
Baugh, 232 rushing yards, the most of any Florida running back against the Noles. And we said it at the top of the show, this is a rivalry that is not defined by records or championships, although there have been plenty of records and championships. It's defined by coaches and players, and Jaden Baugh has put his name in this rivalry's legacy tonight. And that's why, Rocky, you said Florida State had to go for the onside kick because Jaden Baugh has not been stopped all night. Florida's trying to run the clock out. It'll stop for a 2-minute timeout.
This is
Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week, wrapping up at the Swamp. The Gators leading by 13.
Introducing Verts. Swipe for news and highlights. Now available on the ESPN app.
historic night for Jaden Baugh as Florida is about to end Florida State's season and keep them winless on the road for a second straight year. 2 minutes remaining in this one in Gainesville. And a pitch to Baugh. It's worked all night long.
And before that run, Jay, he has 239 yards on the night.
Florida State, their third and final.
Is 1,143. He needs 7 yards to get to 1,150 yards. That might have been close right there.
They just got 5, so 2 away.
Yeah, 2 away.
Final timeout taken by Florida State. We had so much fun walking around pregame. We wanted to show you some of the best sound bites of all. The house is divided here in Gainesville. Take a listen.
Here we are. Welcome to the Swampsgiving tailgate. Here we are, house divided, Florida State.
When we win, go Noles, he has to dress in 12 Florida State outfits for the new 2026 calendar. Go Noles! Go Noles! Go Gators!
How about that for some random phantom? The Smythe family stole the show, but I got bad news for Mrs. Smythe.
Yeah.
It's going to be her dressing up as a Gator.
12 outfits or whatever.
One of the many things that makes this rivalry special are the so many houses that are divided in the state of Florida. Some Noles, some Gators. And tonight has belonged to the Gators and Jaden Baugh. And it's fitting he finishes it with a touchdown. There is a flag down.
6, 10-yard penalty, it's third down.
And it won't count.
Come on.
But even with that penalty and the touchdown off the board, this night belongs to Jaden Baugh, who until somebody beats him will be the most rushing yards for a Gator against a Nole in the long history of these two programs.
It is. It's been his day, Jay, and the even more extraordinary part of this is Florida State knew coming into this game they were going to get a heavy dose of Jaden Baugh, and they still weren't able to stop it tonight.
244 yards rushing. He needed 96 yards to hit 1,000. He is well over and then some. And most importantly, his team is closing in on the win. Florida State is out of timeouts. 4th down upcoming. Florida will run this clock down to about 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining.
The crowd.
Yeah, the swamp roars.
Yes.
One final time for Baugh. This Florida team that in a lost season where you fire your head coach, put together your best performance of the year here at home to prevent your rival from going to a bowl game. In what has been a difficult season, not just all fall, uphill battle, toughest schedule in the country, you fire a head coach, but this week, the disappointment of the news that you're not going to get Lane Kiffin, who I think for the last month, Gator fans were hoping the Lane train would come to Gainesville.
Yeah, I think many thought that was a foregone conclusion. It doesn't look to be the case, as reported by Pete Thamel.
And Thamel reporting that Tulane's head coach, John Sumrall, has emerged as the clear favorite.
DJ Lagway hasn't had to do much tonight because Jaden Baugh has just been so prolific, but I thought he's made great decisions, especially down in the red zone inside the 10 with those play-action passes.
Lagway will go down as the first Gator quarterback to win against the Noles in their first 2 career starts, the last since Tim Tebow, and only the 6th ever. 4th and 3, offense stays on the field, 3 yards ends it. Baugh has the 3 yards, breaks a tackle and scores. The Jaden Baugh game calls ball game. A mammoth 266 yards and 2 touchdowns, and a dominant win against a Seminoles team who will be denied a bowl game in a season where they beat Alabama week 1. They will finish 5-7 and winless on the road for a second straight year.
For Florida, not just a win, but an emphatic win. It's about the only thing Florida hasn't done well tonight, missing that extra point. But Jay, the impressive part about this is me, you, and literally everybody in the stadium and everybody
in the state of Florida
watching at home knew this ball was going to Jaden Baugh, and you still can't stop it. I mean, just the strength, the quickness, the hitting the hole, the breaking the tackles. I mean, these are some good linebackers for Florida State.
Florida 29, it's
just
now 41.
Almost makes it look effortless.
41.
You played defense for Notre Dame 8 years in the NFL. Is there anything more frustrating as a defender when you know something is coming and you still can't stop it?
It's the absolute worst, especially when a team is running the ball on you at will. You know where the play's going, you know who's going to carry it, and there's not a darn thing you can do about it. And I'm sure Florida State is feeling that right now.
'25, it'll be remembered as the Jaden Baugh game in Gainesville. It's fitting that he closes the door. 1,170 yards rushing on the season, 2 touchdowns to beat Florida State at the Swamp.
And look, you just keep giving us highlights because this is just beautiful stuff. I mean, the cutting ability in the hole, the ability to get north-south, the jump cuts, and then just the breaking of tackles. And we saw him on the field before the game, and until you're down left field, you don't realize how big he is, how big his legs are, powerful. He's got the quickness of a scat back, but then the power of a bruiser.
Who does he remind you of?
I think there's a little Marshawn Lynch in him, like just with the power that he runs with, maybe a little Saquon Barkley. You know, the way Barkley does the jump cuts.
Maryland?
As Jaden Baugh left the end zone and came over to Florida's sideline after that touchdown, he and Jabbar Jalouk, his running backs coach, embraced one another for more than a minute in what looked like an incredibly emotional moment, and Baugh didn't want to let go. It seems as it is important for him to really savor every moment of what's happened here on this field tonight. You can tell how much it means to him.
Yeah, you have a night like he's had, you should savor it, because they don't happen often.
Priority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the new Florida head coaches. Keep Jaden Baugh in Gainesville.
I mean, just in general, it's okay, nail the head coach, that's priority 1, and then do whatever you have to do to keep Jaden Baugh here. I mean, he is that vital. We said it earlier, but he's, in my opinion, the most sought-after college football player in the country heading into this offseason. There's not a school from coast to coast that wouldn't pay whatever they got to pay to get him there. That's the reality. Florida's got to keep him here.
And for Florida State, they head into an offseason once again with more questions than answers. Seminoles leadership put out the statement earlier this week that it will be Mike Norvell back as head coach. 2 straight years with results well below their championship standard, but they're going to give Norvell the offseason to reboot this thing once again. The road struggles have continued to define this Florida State program. Hard to fathom this will be 2 straight years where they go winless on the road. Clock ticks down to 5 seconds here. Final play upcoming. Once we're done here at the Swamp, we'll get you right out to Berkeley, where SMU, massive game for them. Win and you're in for the Mustangs to the ACC championship.
And Jay, we might be looking at possibly the last play of quarterback Tommy Castellanos. Just a fantastic college football player for a long time. He's likely out of eligibility.
He's filed a waiver looking for that additional year, tried to live in the moment, and this second half just went against the Seminoles. Final play of the game, a heave and an interception. And that will finish it. Ben Hanks, the freshman corner, puts a stamp on this one, and Florida wins it 40-21. The Gators keep the Noles out of a bowl game. That finishes it here in the Swamp for Rocky Boyman, our terrific crew. Marilyn Payne down on the sideline. I'm Jay Alter saying so long from Gainesville. Let's get you to the West Coast. Cal taking on SMU. Lowell Galindo, Aaron Murray have the call.
Thank you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ESPN.